Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is well. We're just having a delightful time down here at the homestead. Um, before, excuse me, before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to give you the boot out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. All right. I'm just putting that out there ahead of time. So Pam in Wonderland said, I'm actually getting notifications again. Well, that's surprising because they just, and I knew it was coming, folks. I'll tell you, I'll talk about this real quick. YouTube has been playing games like on my channel probably for the last 3 years, right? So hopefully, I don't know if you guys saw too, and I laughed at this one. Zuckerberg just did a thing, and they're going to get rid of the fact checkers on Facebook, and so we're gonna have it's gonna be a free platform again for free speech. Yeah, sure, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure, but you know, I wonder I wonder if the new administration coming in had been Harris's administration instead of Trump, if that had been the same thing, if he'd have done the same thing. I highly doubt it. It's an opinion, folks. It's strictly an opinion. But so supposedly all of a sudden now, you know, what do they call it? It's not Meta. They call it Meta now or whatever instead of Facebook because they changed the name. Uh, um, so yeah, so that's yeah. I saw Trudeau was stepping down. That's awesome. Good for Canadians. I'm happy for you guys. But yeah, it's uh, it's interesting how things are doing what they're doing. And was he destroyed Canada enough in 9 years that finally says, okay, well, we'll go ahead and get rid of this guy. Too much pressure on him. I saw, there was a lot of people wanting him to step down, which I don't know how he got reelected, to be honest with you, but you never know. But anyway, so yeah, crazy stuff's going on. A lot of crazy stuff going on. But talk about a little bit down here. I got to bring this one up because I saw this comment and I absolutely laughed when I saw this comment because I had posted the other day, bad weather coming in, and somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, it sounds like you're panicking." When I was sick, I never left this property for 8 straight days. When not this last time that I've been sick, but the time before, it was, you know, it was 8 straight days that I never left the property. I could be here for weeks and never leave the property, and I'm absolutely fine. So I kind of laughed when I saw that that comment that they said, "Oh, it sounds like you're panicking." Don't panic. You deal with the situation. That is why you prepare. Another thing I laughed at that I saw when somebody else had put in there, well, what happens when how do you still have a job with all those days missed? Well, it's because I'm good at what I do. So, but anyway, um, today there was nothing I could do. I have power lines down across my driveway. I'm not leaving until the power company comes and fixes that. Now, that is more than a half a mile down the driveway, but and the funny thing, like Mary Taylor says, you're allowed sick days. When you're sick, do they want you to be at work when you can't function? If they know that you're there all the time and you're not faking it, obviously. So I laugh at all that whole type of thing. But anyway, I had somebody else made the comment. Well, what happens if you run out of if you're trapped in here or whatever? If you run out of gas and propane, not running out of gas or protein. Like I said, I could be here for weeks and would be absolutely fine. So, but yeah, I laugh at those type of things because that's why I do what I do. I mean, I prepare for the unforeseen, for the emergency that you don't know that's coming. Now, this ice storm. Now, I will tell you this: the truck is parked in the upper meadow, and I did that. I did that Sunday because when I came home Sunday, it was snowing, but I knew we were going to be getting ice. And I'm like, I know for sure if we get ice, I'm not getting out of the lower meadow until that ice melts. So as long as I have the truck on the upper meadow, I can get out. But uh, I lived in the area you are for several years, so I know what it's like there. Delbert. Okay. Yeah, it's it happens, guys. Events are going to happen. It's wintertime. Ice events are going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You just, like I said again, you put yourself in a situation where you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best. Like right now, a good example would be, and I got to tell you this because this I got a lot of amusement out of today. People in the whole area have been without power since Sunday. Okay, and I'm not amused that they're out of power, but what I found amusing was today. I was uploading videos because I made a bunch of videos today. I went around and looked at other people's buildings to make sure that their buildings were okay. I still got to go up and check some of the buildings in the upper meadow, and obviously I did, videos about the road. And then I got a video when I was chainsawing and clearing out the trees and stuff like that as well. But but anyway, it was taking like 15 minutes, which is fast for here, okay, for these videos to go up. And I was laughing. I said, see how awesome it is when nobody's online? I can get my videos up much, much quicker because usually during the day it's really easier. But I mean, this was this afternoon. They were banging up through, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So, but, people have been without power since Sunday. Well, I haven't been without power, and because I have, my internet through my phone, there is no issue, obviously, as you can see, because I'm online, to be able to, get online and stuff as well. So I haven't had any issues as far as that goes. Now I haven't shaved. You can see that here in my head. I haven't shaved either. So, but I will tomorrow. But I'm probably not getting out of here tomorrow either. They were saying actually called the power company, and I'm obviously not a customer, right? But I said, hey, I got power lines down, and they were like, we're aware, what's going on in that area. One of the telephone poles, and I don't know if you'll, uh, I did post some pictures on Facebook with my private, or my, under my regular name on Facebook if people wanted to see that. And so, but yeah, there's a power pole. The pole, instead of being like this, the pole is like that. Some trees had come down, and I kind of show that on video as well. And they just took out the power lines. And so the power lines were the no shave gave the impression to the person that made the panic statement. It's just the way I'm looking at it is this: I don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to do anything, so I'm not shaving. I don't care. Just being lazy on that part of it. But anyway, like I said, we're perfectly fine. The puppies are great. They're actually 5 weeks old today, and I'll grab a couple of them and I'll show them, here in the stream, and kind of give you guys an idea. They are already. I started them out last Tuesday on wet food, and in the last 2 days, I've given them nothing but dry food, and they're chowing it down. And so they're really doing good. Giving them water. I'm trying to give her a break as much as I possibly can. I mean, she's still going in and she's feeding some, but she's staying more away as much, than she was before. Yeah, the chickens are good. I actually, you'll see it. I got it on video when I went and I was checking Mark's and Rob's place, and then I went up and checked on the chickens, and I got one egg today, so they are actually, believe it or not, are still laying. But I mean, it's cold. It's definitely still cold. We've had, it's been snowing lightly for most of the day. Yeah, no, I've had no internet issues at all. Like I said, it's through my Wi-Fi. So the towers aren't damaged. Power lines are down, but that's not affecting the internet as far as for me goes. If people that are on fiber optic and stuff like that, I'm sure they're having issues, but mine's not based on that. So, and my phone has obviously been working fine as well. So that's all part of that. But anyway, yeah, it's just, you know, I live in the middle of the woods. All right. You got to expect if there's a storm, there's a possibility you're going to have trees down. When you have a driveway that is 8/10 of a mile long, I mean, that's common sense realistically. So, I just, that's why I went out. I'm not on Starlink. No, no, I go through my cell phone. So I have a plan with them. And that's since I got on that. In the beginning, it was a little more sketchy, but they recently upgraded. I got a new box, if you will, and it's much faster and it's better. And so, videos are not taking as long to upload. And not having as many issues. Now, the last live stream I did, when we were talking about a certain subject, then there all of a sudden was internet problems and I got disconnected. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's just, did you take care of the tree overhanging the wolf's lair? Well, it ain't overhanging the wolf's lair anymore, JJ. That came down. And you'll see that in an upcoming video. I did not work on that today. I was focusing on the driveway so that right now, once the power lines are fixed, I should be able to get out. I don't know about the last stretch up the hill, going out of the driveway once I make the turn. I don't know how that's going to go. But other than that, I shouldn't have any problems at this point because, I mean, I cleared. Excuse me. I think I was out in the cold too long today. But it, it opened all that up now. So that's all I could get in and out of here if that is the power lines were, squared away. If the cell tower's back generator fails or runs out of fuel, they'll go down too. I don't know. I don't know how they 80 came in. I don't know how they got it set up down here. I really don't. But yeah, it's just yeah, it was just like I said, it's an event that happens. We were ready for it. Other than the fact that I did have to borrow a chainsaw today. My two chainsaws. The one I don't have any. I don't have the right size blades for the one, and then the other one has been having issues. And actually, one of the guys in the group had said, "Hey, when we come down, which they're due to be down here Friday. Everybody's coming down." He said, "When I come down, he said I will, get your chainsaw squared away." And I said, "All right, cool," because he's more. I am not mechanically inclined, guys. That is one thing that I have said from day one. I'm not mechanically inclined in any way, shape, or form. But so that's why I don't worry about it. I got other people that do that. So but anyway, so that's obviously poor timing with the weather. So, but Randy, the guy that I bought the property from, him and his wife, he was gracious enough to let me borrow a chainsaw, and so that's what I used today. And I actually still have that right now, and I'll bring that out and up to him, when I come out. So yeah, it's like I said, it's it's an event. It happens. We deal with it, and then we go on. You know what I mean? It's just it's not. There's no panic. There's no, oh my God. That's why we prepare. You know what I mean? That's why we prepare. And, you know, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. It's just another day, just an event that we have to deal with, um, and just take care of things, you know. And so I just, you know, it's just another day like any other day. Just because we're unable to get out doesn't mean the end of the world. I mean, if the end of the world happened tomorrow, you know, being prepared and having a level head. Well, that exactly. There's no panic. I mean, I don't know where that person ever came from. I don't ever panic. I don't think I've ever panicked in situations, high stress situations. I've dealt with a lot of them in my life. I do what I have to do, and then we go on. So, what will help me out in a grid down situation is my sense of direction and weather awareness. That definitely should help. Absolutely. I mean, you got to pay attention to the weather. Oh yeah, I'm going to grab a couple of them here in a little bit and show you guys. But yeah, it's just it's just another situation that comes up. You go, okay, it's the trade-off, right? I don't live in a highly populated area, and even the highly populated areas are going to have power outages and stuff like that. The only difference is they're not ready. You know what I mean? They're not ready. And that's one of the things that I had talked about as far as like making sure that you have your stuff topped off. I had done a video about that, how important that is, because it's hugely, hugely important to make sure that when your stuff is in working order, that's important. Like to one of the things I did today as well, I changed the oil out in the generator because it was actually past 30 hours, and I was like, man, I gotta get this done. So I had run the generator for a while this morning, and I'm like, I'm changing that oil out. So I just, boom, did that, got that squared away, and like I said, all of it is just a process. You go through the motions like any other day. The only difference is, like I said, got to admit it, Ed, it was pretty cool hearing the trees fall in the distance. Oh yeah, yeah. When I did that video, I will tell you what, it was. There was a lot of trees down in the woods and stuff like that. And obviously on the road, I anticipated that on the road. That's like this morning. I had called Steve and I said, "Hey man," I said, "I'm gonna go down and check that out. You want to walk down there with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll go down there with you." And then Hella went with me, and I did the videos showing that. But yeah, it's just you know it's like I said, that's pretty neat actually. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, it is absolutely beautiful out there. Absolutely beautiful. You'll see in an upcoming video here. I cleaned off this afternoon. I cleaned off probably 4 inches of snow off the solar panels, and you're thinking, oh, that's awesome, right? According to the Appalachian Power, 34,794 of their customers across West Virginia are without power. Yeah, so if you figure there is, 4 people per family, that's over 100,000 people that don't have power right now. So, but when I called them, they said that should be taken care of by 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'm hoping that it's one more day, and then I will be able to get out of here. So, but anyway, so when I cleaned off the snow, you think, great, that's awesome, we're ready to go, right? Literally about that thick, maybe 4 inches, I would say, a solid block of ice. Can you salvage any of the trees for wood or cut to lumber out of it? No, Delbert. The trees, the ones that came down were not big trees, thank goodness. They were decent size, like maybe that. But most of it was like that pine trees, and so we just cut them up and push it off over the edge. So none of that's going to get used, and we were just more in that process of cleaning things up. So like a lot of there was and like I said, if you the other video that you'll be seeing tomorrow, I think when I'm walking back, I do a video, and you'll see the trees are like, hanging over the road. I took the opportunity to cut a lot of them back so that we don't obviously have that problem again. But like I said, I mean, Steve helped me, and Jamie came. Jamie had called me, and he said, "Hey, do you need a hand? I'll be in the area, at a certain time." And I said, "Absolutely, love to have a helping hand." So Jamie came down. So I was doing the cutting. Uh, Jamie and Steve were doing the clearing out, and we just worked our way down the road in every spot that needed it. And so the way we did some of it, because the trees, the way they were hanging, I would have them just grab a hold of the branch and pull it down as far as they could, and then I was just reaching over my head and just cutting, and doing that. And then once we did that, then the tree snapped back up, and so the things were cleared out. So, but they wouldn't let you post because your name was name calling. Oh my God, that's so funny. That is so funny. How silly, name calling. Oh no, did you hurt somebody's sensitive feelings? But anyhow, so we got the driveways in obviously much, much better shape now. All those trees that were across, they're all cleaned out now and out of there. And like I said, as soon as they get, yeah, like a chief from the Check to Sinkhole Massacre, exactly. But anyhow, it's you know it's cleared out now, and so we're ready to go once they get those power lines squared away. And I imagine that probably will, like I said, by 8 o'clock tomorrow night, they said that'll be squared away. So we'll see. I'll probably take a walk down through there tomorrow. There's a couple things that I want to just touch up to make things better, but other than that, we should be really, really good. So what kind of gas generator do I have? I have like 3 or 4 generators, to be honest with you. I think, let's see. I I actually have 4 generators. I got one generator up in the shipping container, still in the box, that hasn't been touched, and that's like my last resort generator. I got the one that I'm using now. Uh, I'm not even sure of the name brand of what they are, but video of me working with the chainsaw. No, I did not have chaps on. No, I did not have hearing protection on. And no, I did not have, I mean, I had my glasses, but that's, how many inches of snow on the ground? Maybe six, maybe 6 inches, I think, altogether. But it was the ice that was the most devastating thing. I mean, yesterday, we got probably 3 inches of that snow yesterday. When the ice came, we had, maybe 2 inches of snow, and then we had the ice. And it was a heavy layer of ice. I showed you guys, that in the videos as well. And what's the temperature now? I will tell you in a second. Let's see. Right now we're at 15 degrees. Tomorrow's high. Wind right now making it feel like it's 3 degrees. So it's 15, and then with the wind it feels like 3. Tomorrow's high is going to be 22. Let's see what they're saying here. No, actually, this is saying for tomorrow we're looking at 19 for a high and 11 for a low. Then Thursday's 19 for a high, and 9 for a low, and then it warms right up. On Friday, we're going to be at 31 for a high and 24 overnight. And then, it'll start getting better. It, like I said, and, as long as we get halfway decent sunshine and weather, this will melt off. It's, like I said, the ice was the thing that did the damage. That's what did the damage. It's definitely cold. I'll give you that. We're at 9 degrees way up here and at about 20 inches of snow. I got you. But Yeah, like I said, it's like this was not. I mean, other than the ice and dealing with that part of it, and I've dealt with ice storms before. Been through a couple of them up in New York. And back then, you're out no power for a week or 10 days. So I mean, but you figured back then everybody was without power. So that's just one of those things. You live long enough, you're going to see a lot of different things, and like I said again, as long as you're prepared. I do have to tell you this. This is my favorite. This is my favorite, guys. All right. And so Sunday, when I got out of work, they let me out early, thank goodness. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop at the store real quick. Like every other moron, waiting till the last minute to stop at the store. And I got my bread and milk, right? I wanted to make sure I had enough. I had enough bread, and and I picked up like another. I get it by like a half gallon at a time, so that I make sure I have enough. And it's like people were like unbelievably. The store was jam packed, crazy, crazy busy. And I always wondered. I said, okay, so people go and buy bread and milk is their main thing that they buy when the storms are. There's like never any bread and there's never any milk and all that type of stuff. But when the power goes out, how will you keep it other than if you take the milk and put it outside, but then it's going to freeze, right? How do you keep your milk in the right temperature? So, but Robert said I'm out of milk made powder today. Yeah, I mean, and I've got plenty of powdered milk myself if I needed it. But your video reminded me of the '98 ice storm, brought back memories. That's what got me into prepping world. Oh, I'll tell you what, we all have our moment that is that affinity moment where we go, like I said, I've told people, for me it was Hurricane Katrina, 2004. When or yeah, 2004, I believe, when Hurricane Katrina hit. That was my light bulb moment that I said, wow, we really need to be taking care of ourselves and not relying on somebody else to take care of us, meaning the government. And so that was a really defining moment for me. I think these guys have all gone to sleep now. They're all sleeping now. But yeah, it was just, it was one of those things. It's just, we will everybody's going to have that. They're going to be like, okay, what's that light bulb moment that goes off in your head? And I feel really blessed, to be honest with you, that I had that. And it's like, and I looked at the situation and I just said, I don't want to rely on them. I want to rely on me and mine and my people. And, and that's what got me going and doing what I've been doing. But yeah, our never again moment. Exactly. Exactly. And I love it when people like, like even like right now. Okay. So I've been focusing on group food for the group, and when I have people, in the comments and like, rice and beans and blah, 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 you get your staples first. And that's just in my own mind, you know, if we have rice and beans and an event happens, we can feed ourselves for longer if we've got that stretched out. Would I like to be able to get to a point where we go and we buy a lot of freeze dried stuff? Absolutely. I would love to get to that moment. But I think it's really important that you take care of the basic stuff first. And if you take care of the basic stuff, then everything else falls into place later on. And if later on doesn't happen, right, then at least you have that basic core things that are going to keep you through. Now, would we eventually be getting real tired of eating beans and rice? Yep. But we would also be very grateful that we had it when other people didn't. And so that's my thought process with that. Like I said, right now I'm in that process of I have 6 different kinds of beans that we're stockpiling at the moment. 2 of them are at the 100 pound mark or over for group food, and black beans we're at like 88 pounds with black beans. I think we're at 50 something pounds with split green peas, something like that. But we'll get all those up to that's the next mission. As the money comes in, I will focus on that and work on getting those things that we need that way. And then as we move forward, well, then we go and expand. I would love to be able to say that as a group, and I mean, you know, I would love to get to the point where as a group, as far as group food, not individual. Now, people have to have here on site at all times a 3 month supply of food. Okay, they have to have that. And so, some members have more than that. Other members have that 3 month level. And so, and that's okay, but I would love to be able to get to a point where we go for a group. And if, let's say, I'm going to make a number up, let's say there's 20 of us, okay? If we have enough food, just group food, that's going to feed us for 6 months, just for group food, on top of whatever else we have, that just puts us in a much more comfortable position. And that's what it's about, folks, at the end of the day. It's putting yourself in a position. It's just like this. This has not been a big deal. Yeah, does it suck? And, is it restrictive? And is there, limited travel? And, a lot of people are without power? Sure. But if you are prepared for that, and when that happens, you just go, okay. Um, the other day, I slept a lot. I'm like, well, there's not really much I can do. The weather was absolutely atrocious. Sunday night into Monday, and so I really didn't do a whole lot because what am I going to do? You know what I mean? It was icing and crap outside. So it was like, well, we stay inside until we can get outside. And like, today I got out and did an assessment of the damage, especially like on the road to see if I could even get out, which obviously I could not. And then you take care of it. That's what you do. So, but yeah, plant a few handfuls of those beans and refresh your storage. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's just like with the wheat berries. Okay. I would highly recommend that you guys have wheat berries because there's different kinds of wheat. All right. Wheat is where you're making your flour from. So if you have the wheat berries, and the reason I call it the wheat berries, they have a 30-year shelf life because they haven't had the shell taken off yet, and all that type of stuff. You could take those and you can put them out and and grow more wheat. So that's helpful as well. You got to be smart about what you're doing. So yes, a certain percentage of the beans would be going for more crops, and that's, you would try to germinate what you could germinate and, just go from there. But, we're just, like I said, we're taking care of the things that we need to take care of. We're trying to focus on those type of things. You know, I like this get together we got coming up here. All right. This is a get together, in my opinion, that separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, because if members still show up and come, even when they know the weather is not going to be ideal, that's something that we're going to be dealing with when SHTF happens. I always laugh because the reality for me personally, I live here full time. Steve's down here in the Blue House. He lives here full time. The only, um, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Not to mention that the wood stove in the den makes it handy in the moments like, of course. But here's the biggest thing for me, right? Okay, I'm here full time. Steve's here full time. Um, the only thing that changes for me, and really realistically, in a SHTF situation, we're not going to be able to get any more gas. We're not going to be able to get any more propane. So we're going to have what we have. We're going to be having to be smart about how we're using that propane and gas, right? And it means I don't have to go to work no more, right? And we would have to worry about defending the property. Guys, we got 252 people in the chat. I got 100 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I do appreciate that. And thank you very much ahead of time. So it really does make a big difference with things. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please, make sure that you hit, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and make sure you get, so you get all notifications as well. So I thank you for that reason as well. But yeah, like I said, it's these type of events that happen, they're tests. They're going to test your preparedness, how ready you are, where you're lacking. And like I said, for me right now, where I was lacking, I did not have a functioning chainsaw at the moment. So I'm gonna get it in the comments. Oh my God, you're an unprepared prepper. Blah 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 blah. You know, you have to sometimes let certain things slack to take care of other things, and but puppies are getting big. What are you gonna do? Well, once they hit 8 weeks, which is 3 weeks away, anybody that's going to want to buy a puppy, they're going to be able to buy a puppy. And I'm keeping at least two of them. And if it ends up that I don't sell, let's say I sell of the, so I have 9 puppies, right? I'm keeping two. CC and his wife are getting one of the females because that's what he wants. He has pick of the litter, so he's going to get a female. So uh, if that's the case, that means I have 6 dogs for sale. Well, and let's say I sell 4 of them, and the other 4 don't sell, right? Or other 2 don't sell. Well, then I'll keep them. Simple as that. I don't care. It's just another dog. So I would be okay with that. But neighbors are more important than a chainsaw. Yeah, no kidding. No, it's really good. Oh yeah, I have other options, as far as like I said, I have hand saws and I have those type of things here as far as tools go. So I mean if we had to do things by hand, that's one of the things is preparedness wise, because eventually the gas, the oil and those type of things are going to run out, and you're going to have to figure out other ways to do things. Now, I obviously, as long as I can, to make it easier on us, being able to have the ability to have the use of chainsaws and making sure we have enough oil and gas, I think that that's important. I wouldn't be running the generator in a true SHTF situation. I would not waste the gas on giving myself power, for a 12-hour period, if you will. That would be a waste. We would work on, making sure that the batteries were good, and that when the sun did come back out, that we were trying to use that as much as we can. I have to use an axe to cut trees. I mean, I saved gas not using a chainsaw, but I was exhausted cutting the tree. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do what you got to do. I mean, axes and hand saws and cross cut saws and all those type of things. That's where we're going to be at. I mean, that's the reality. That's where we're going to be at. So, being, like I said, you put yourself in a position where like these inconveniences are not really inconvenient. Because really, to be honest with you, for me, the only thing that changed because of this is I wasn't able to go to work. That's it. you know. And so, but you deal with it, you go on, and hopefully things get better, and you know, you get you control again. What have I said in a million times? Control what you can control. That's important. So if you're controlling what you can control, you're going to be okay. What could I do to control today, right? I went out, I assessed the damage, saw what damage we had, and I went, okay, we can work on this, we can fix this part, and then, we're having to rely on the power company to get their power line squared away. So, but yeah, it's, not my power lines. So, it doesn't affect me. As you can see, I'm live, I have power. So, that's with 5 German Shepherds, the wolf layer could be named Hell's Guard Shack. Yeah, right. Well, like I said, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I know for sure I'm keeping 2 of the puppies. That I know for sure. Ed, did you bring your crosscut saw down from New York? Yes, yes, I did, Tony. Yep, that came a while ago. When I was making all those trips every month, that came on one of those trips. So I do have that crosscut saws here. You know, 0 eggs, lol. I'm late. Actually, we got one today, full of hope. We're not gonna worry about like an egg count until we get into better weather again, and they actually all start laying again, and then we'll be able to go back into doing the egg counts and stuff. But yeah, like I said, this was an interesting event. Hearing the trees, going out when I made that one video. I think when I made that one video, you could hear was probably 4 trees, at least in the woods that we heard snapping and breaking. There was a lot of trees that snapped and broke. So but again, it's all part of it. And you look at that, right, and you go, okay, what do we got to do to make sure we don't have any issues moving forward? So, we're going to do the best that we can. And, like I said, the biggest thing was like I had called down to Steve in the Blue House and I said, listen, dude, be very careful if you go outside. But, the with the ice and stuff like that and those trees, you just don't know. So you have to really be careful. You have to be ready to deal with that type of situation because I'll tell you what, there, you would not have caught me walking out in the woods yesterday. No way, no how. So, did you get around to all the sheds to check them out? All the ones in the lower meadow have been checked, and the only one that any this has suffered any damage was the wolf's lair, and it was basically just one of the gutters. And you'll see that, like I said, in an upcoming video. I haven't checked the buildings in the upper meadow yet. There's Paul and Barbara's building, but they don't really have any trees around there other than that pine tree. And then we got Jamie and Dawn's, we got Sandy's, and we got Bud's building. So I will be going up um, probably tomorrow because I don't think I'm going anywhere tomorrow either because of not being able to get out until they like I said again, the power company, when I called them, they said by 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I should be able to get out of my driveway. So we'll see. That don't mean that's going to happen like that, but we'll see. So, but other than like I said, other than that, the trees have been cleared out. There's a couple areas that I got to hit, and I'll hit those tomorrow. But not a big deal. Not a big deal. So, and like I said, I appreciate Jamie, coming in and helping out as well. Extra pair of hands definitely make a huge, huge difference. And like I said, having Steve here, and being willing to jump in and help, it's really appreciated as well. So, you know, and I know some of you are going to say, well, he lives there. Yeah, well, yeah, he does. But, I mean, he has a life as well and he has a job as well. And he wasn't able to go to work today either. So, it's one of those things. Yeah, natural selection cutting the weak trees. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How long is this weather event expected to last? Well, looking at the forecast, by like Monday, we're going to be back in the 30s, and so I don't know what it's going to be after that. But it's winter. You know what I mean? It's winter. So blizzard of 78. We were in Iowa and it snowed in 4 days. No mail, nothing. Well, I was in Buffalo in 78 when that storm hit, and we had the blizzard of 77, 78. I was in Buffalo, and it was it was definitely interesting as a child, being 13 years old and seeing that. Actually, I was 12 because it was 77 into 78, and and so, but I was a kid, and it was cool because we didn't, oh cool, no school, and those type of things, but. It was interesting, that's for sure. But you like I said, you deal with it and you go on, and hopefully you learn from those events. As a kid, it was just cool because we didn't have to go to school, and But again, as preppers, as people that are getting ready, winter is coming. If you live in an area that's going to get snow, and you have to prepare for those things, and you have to be ready. And when something happens, you don't like lose your head and go, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" You just go, "Okay, here it is. Now we deal with it." And that's what we just have done. That's what we had to do. So, it was not fun getting out today. I'll be honest with you. There was not a lot of wind, which was cool. The wind picked up later this evening, but it was definitely. I mean, I had on like right now. I got this is a long john underwear. That's what I got on right now. I had my long john top, my long john bottoms. I was wearing my boots. I had a regular pair of socks and I had a pair of wool socks. But yeah, 80K man is making a really good point here with your generators, guys. Run them every month, once a month. Run them for like 15 minutes, and then you're just making sure everything is good. So when that emergency comes up, and if you haven't run your generator in 6 months, which happened to me, right? If you guys remember, go back and watch the videos, and I had an issue when I needed that generator, it wasn't available to me, and that was not a comfortable feeling. And like I said, I learned my lesson from that. So I make sure I'm going out, I'm firing up those generators, each month. So when I need them, they're ready, they're good to go. And like I said, the one in the shipping container has had nothing done. I mean, it's still in the box. So that one I don't obviously do. I'm not testing that one because it's not being used. But when it comes to the time that I have to use it, it's a matter of I pull it out of that box and there we go. So, but our household natural gas generator test every Sunday for 10 minutes. There you go. Yep. I found Waldo again. My generator wouldn't start today. Yeah, see that again, and those are lessons, folks, that we need to learn. And like I said, because I've made the mistakes myself, I don't make those mistakes again. I'll screw up, and like I said, I'm always been honest. If there's an issue or if I screw something up, I've always tried to get out there and tell you guys, hey, I screwed up, because I think it's important that we do that. And then people say whatever they're going to say, and I really don't care, you know. But if you cannot make the same mistakes that I've made because I've made a mistake, that helps you out. It also helps me out because, like I said, again, I'm not making that mistake again. So ever since that situation happened with my generator, I make sure every month I'm out there, I fire it up. I just pick a day in the month and I go, okay, on this day, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that generator for a little while and make sure it's good to go. So, my grandkids are going to help out tomorrow to help their grandma in getting groceries before the next storm hits. Also, plan to buy a few things for the house as well. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, rotating the gas is so important. I mean, so unbelievably important. I've talked about that. And like I said, that's what I do this time of year. I start on one side and I fill the gas cans when it's empty, and I pull the next one out and put that one back, and then that just go right around that circle, that big U, and that works out well because then the gas is in good shape, nothing to worry about there, and then we just kind of go from there. But it's just again, it's just all part of it. It's just all part of it, and like I said, you learn. I'm gonna see. I thought I had something. It's on this side. What the heck is that? I don't know. Anyway, not a big deal. So, the idea to put moonshine in fuel actually comes from Boss Hog. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if you had to, you could use moonshine to run something if you worst case scenario type of situation. But yeah, but like I said, it's been very relaxing. Other than having to get out there and clean things up today. Yes, Brad is saying you can use a fuel treatment to treat your gas so it can last longer. Yeah, I actually stable ease. I actually have stable ease. I don't use it. That again, okay, so thinking ahead, SHTF happens, and JJ says, "Ed, any trees go down the main road leading to your property, or did you get out that far?" Um, on the main road, I talked to Randy, and he said the main road, whatever was down, they've already got that cleared out. The town took care of that. So that there, he said there was a bunch of trees and branches down, but yes, they already. Randy said he went and was checking stuff out, but anyway, with the stable ease, I have that. Again, that is for a true SHTF situation because whatever gas I have at that point, we're going to figure out, okay, how many gallons of gas do we have? That would all be treated with the stable ease, which will give you up to 2 years of shelf life on that gas, which is great. I don't feel the need to use that right now because I'm rotating my gas every, you know, probably faster than 6 months. So, but yeah, it's a good thing to have, and I do have it. But that is saved for when we are in a worst case scenario in whatever gas we have at that point. You got to think about the other thing too. Okay, I never let my truck get below half a tank of gas. Like right now, I think I'm at like 3/4 of a tank of gasoline. Well, I have a 32-gallon tank in my truck. I think it's 32 or 33 gallons. So, you're looking at probably right now, that's better than 20 something gallons of gas that, again, in an SHTF worst case scenario situation, that I would have that to be able to use as well because we're not going to be out driving around probably. So, again, so whatever, gas you have in your vehicles, that would make a difference as well. Other people are wanting to know if your solar system charges differently in the cold um, weather than the warm weather, and how the snow affects the panels. Well, if there's snow, good question, Kathy, and thank you for asking that. Actually, the system is more efficient in the wintertime. It's just we don't get as much sunshine in the wintertime. So that makes a difference, okay? Now, when there's snow on the solar panels, it blocks it. You're not getting any power coming in because of the snow. Like right now, like I said, I probably got 4 inches of ice on those panels. So we're getting zero power from the sun right now, and it's been snowing and overcast anyway, so that's not making a difference. But I did clear off the snow that was on top because those Cheez-Its, I'm going to end up giving those to Hella because they're stale. They sat there that long where I didn't eat a lot of them. You know that. So yeah, that's what. So they'll end up. I got to take the box down, and let her go ahead and just finish those up. Everyone in the chat from Southwest Ohio, the Dayton airport said we got 6.7 inches of snow, and the surrounding areas got as much as 11. And that's not really a bad storm, realistically. I mean, that's not that bad, especially when you have areas that are prepared to deal with that. When you have, growing up in the Rochester area, we could get 100 inches of snow every year. It was a thing that could happen. So when a big storm came through, you might be inconvenienced for a day or two, but they got it cleaned out pretty quickly. So, I mean, when you're looking at 3 feet or more, then there's issues and the high winds and the ice, and, that's a whole different type of scenario. So, again, you just look at the situation, you deal with it. And, like I said, again, if you are prepared, um, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. Like I said, the only thing that's been different for me the last couple of days, like Monday, I just stayed in the camper. Um, I'll be honest, I was like, screw this. This weather blows. I'm just staying in the camper. And so when I got up today, and now it was still lightly snowing today, even though they said it was going to stop before then. Um, it ended up snowing almost all night, but it was a light snow. So it ended up accumulating maybe another 3 inches on top. But like the on the road, the driveway in, it's not bad in there at all. I mean, there was a little bit of snow and a little bit of ice, but other than that, it wasn't bad. Other than all the trees down. So, but and remember when Buffalo got 74 inches in 24 hours? Oh yeah, that would. I mean, that happen last year, the year before. There was certain parts of Buffalo that just got decimated, and then other parts got just a little bit. So it just depended on where you were in relation with the lake, and they know that. You know what I mean? They absolutely know that. So, guys, I'm not going to grab a puppy because they're all sleeping. They're all very quiet right now. Normally, if they were up and they were moving and grooving, I would grab one and show you a couple puppies. But they're sleeping, so I don't want to mess with them. So that's sorry. Yeah, they're all knocked out. Uh, but so what I've been doing with them with the dry food, I've been giving them the dry food twice a day now, and so they're doing that. You can re-roast your Cheez-Its on the oven at low temperature. Yeah, I'm not putting that much effort into it. you know, I'm not putting that much. Yeah, the puppies are getting big. They're. I'll tell you, this last week when I started them on wet food on Tuesday, and like I said, the last 2 days I've been giving them now dry food. Yep, Hella's still cleaning up after the puppies. I'm cleaning up after the puppies, so we're both working on that. Um, but yeah, and they're still in the camper. And yes, does the camper smell like pee? Yes. Okay. Um, it's too cold for me to put them out in the wolf's lair. It's too cold. So I don't care. I'm looking at it. We're 5 weeks in, 3 more weeks to go. And, once they're gone, and then I have the ones I'm going to keep, and I'm going to potty train them, obviously. Yeah, it's temporary. It's a temporary thing. I'll scrub that area. I will bleach that area. I will spray nice smelling smells in that area, and we'll just deal with that then. But the ice and snow meltdown phase presents other real problems for some as well. Oh, absolutely. You're looking. Some people are going to be dealing with flooding. Depending on where they're at. So. Uh, but I got to tell you what, though. I mean, it sounds. So I'm a half glass full kind of guy. I tell people that all the time. I'm always looking for the positive and the negative, okay? Because it's like if you're that negative Nancy all the time, which some of you know because you see some of the comments that some people make, there's never a positive thing that they ever say. It's always negative, negative, negative. And I feel sorry for people like that, to be honest with you. But you know, you got to laugh stuff off. You got to go, well, it could have been worse, and it happens, and that type of stuff. But you know, do you use potty pads for the puppies? You want to see what I'm using for the puppies, folks? I'll show you. Paper towels. I keep an eye on things. As soon as I see that they've done anything, I'll take the paper towels and I've been going through some paper towels. I am not gonna lie, but that is true. Some people on the internet are overly sensitive. Well, Johnny, you get a lot. Some people are very hypercritical. They see. Here's what I think is funny. To be honest with you, when it comes to a lot of the people making comments that are in the negative nature, okay, a lot of those people don't live off grid. They don't do anything except sit in their comfortable house with all their amenities, and they don't worry about things. And when the power goes out, they cry and they scream and they mash their hands and, oh my God, poor me, and I'm a victim, right? But you know, I live this every day, so it's not like this is any different from any other day, other than the fact that we have things that we have to take care of. That's it. Like that one branch that came down here by the Wolf's Lair. Was that a priority? No. Why? Because it's not in my way realistically at the moment. I needed to make sure that the road was squared away so that I could get out of there. And so that was the priority. And so that's what I was working on. But 80K man, It's why I don't comment much anymore. It can turn into a debate. Oh, you're right. Well, and the thing is, and it's okay. People, I don't mind people having questions. I don't mind people saying, "Well, what about this or what about that?" Okay, I got no problem with that, you know. But you get some people, they're armchair quarterbacks. It's like that person that's in the passenger seat telling you how to drive the car. You know what I mean? I'm driving the car. You know, don't worry about it. But that's okay. You know, and Johnny said I comment quite a bit, but like my last one, they get deleted a lot. It, I I'll tell you what, I don't delete a lot of comments, to be honest with you. So maybe YouTube does that. You know, yeah, 80K man says, and they don't have a driver's license, exactly. But again, I mean, like 80K man, he's squared away. He's got his stuff squared away. If Jason, had a comment. He's got his stuff squared away. And Old Mutt is another one. Old Mutt's been squared away for a long, long time. But it's just you have to look at your situation and go, okay, what do I need to take care of? And you take care of it. Again, I'm going to clean up this over here by the Wolf's Lair. But right now, like I said, I had other things. I still got a little bit to do on the road, you know. But I want to give you guys an update real quick, and then I am going to jump off of here. Mom had her second surgery, and it went well, and she's already back home. That happened on Monday. She went in Monday and had her second surgery. It wasn't as evasive as the first surgery, thank goodness. So they did take some lymph nodes and they're going to do the pathologies on that. So we're hopeful right now, and that's that I'm hopeful that there's no cancer in the lymph nodes, because if there's cancer in the lymph nodes, then it's just a matter of time. That's the reality of that situation. So we're going to wait to hear back on the pathologies of that, and we'll go from there. But mom's a tough old bird. Okay, I mean, she didn't make 81 for no reason. She's a fighter, and so we'll see how that all plays out, and we'll go from there. But she's doing okay, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys that update. But anyway, guys, real quick, one last time, we got 262 in the chat. We got 181 thumbs up. Let's pop that up over 200 thumbs up before we jump off of here. I do appreciate the support. So if that really does make a big, big difference, also again with the algorithms, and I do appreciate that as well. And also again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I do appreciate that as well. I want to leave you with something, okay? And I think that everybody has a moment in their life where they contemplate it. It's doing it is the difference. When it comes to suicide, okay, I want to talk about that really, really quickly. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I want you to remember that. And if you kill yourself, your problems are over, but you leave everybody that cared about you in your wake, and they have to deal with that loss. And why did this healthy or young person do what they did? Okay, so remember that, though. Everything is temporary. Nothing is a permanently bad situation. With the situation with Jason, I never. I'll tell you what I did. I called my daughter, and I had said to her, I said, "Listen," I said, "don't ever kill yourself, because it would destroy me, because it would. I would be destroyed if my child did that. Our children are not supposed to die before we do. Okay, that's not the way it's designed. It's not how we want to have it happen. So, and then everybody that gave a crap about you has to deal with that and process it, and in that type of situation. And I'm going to tell you what, to me, suicide is a very, very selfish act. Very selfish act. Now, if you have a terminal cancer or something that is bad that you are not going to recover from, I get it then. Okay, but life is so short and it's so precious and it's such a blessing. And again, permanent solution to a temporary problem. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Please be safe. I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. Keep prepping. This is why we do what we do for events that like this that just happened. That's why we do what we do. We prepare because when an event happens, it's not a big deal for us because we're ready for it. Okay? It's not about waiting for the end of the world to happen. But if that comes too, we're ready for that. All right, guys. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepperness One out for now.